Welcome live to the Gravity GP Opening Dash, a single race on the technical canyon descent layout featuring 12 marbles. Our aerial camera provides a panoramic view of the full course as the start gate begins to build pressure. Today's canyon descent features critical risk zones including the speed section, banked curve, and another challenging speed section. All eyes are fixed on Pulse Driver, while Quantum Quakes enters the race with impressive balanced ratings. The start gate is now sealed shut. All marbles are poised and ready for the green light. Green light and the Gravity GP Opening Dash is officially underway. Blaze Runner and Swift Shadow nearly collide in the fast risk zone. Blaze Runner and Comet King nearly touch in the technical risk zone. Collision. Pulse Driver loses heavy speed in the low-risk run. Atomic Ace and Aero Glide nearly touch in the low-risk run. Blaze Runner and Vortex Victor almost connect in the high-speed risk. Turbo Bolt and Zenith Zapper collide in the high-risk zone. Nitro Flash and Pulse Driver almost touch in the technical risk zone. Pulse Driver and Aero Glide nearly touch in the technical risk zone. Comet King and Swift Shadow collide in the technical risk zone. Pulse Driver and Aero Glide nearly touch in the high-speed risk. Comet King and Swift Shadow collide in the high-speed risk. Zenith Zapper and Turbo Bolt nearly touch in the low-risk run. Swift Shadow and Atomic Ace nearly touch in the technical risk zone. Pulse Driver is the winner of the Gravity GP Opening Dash. Pulse Driver crosses the line, taking a decisive victory. Swift Shadow and Atomic Ace nearly touch in the fast risk zone. Aero Glide crosses the finish line, securing P2. Turbo Bolt and Swift Shadow battle fiercely at the finish gate. Zenith Zapper finishes in P3, completing the podium. It's a photo finish. Turbo Bolt and Swift Shadow neck and neck. Crystal Charge and Nitro Flash nearly touch in a frantic finish. Nitro Flash is out of the race at the finish gate. Lead change. Vortex Victor passes Blaze Runner in the technical risk zone. Pulse Driver takes the lead from Vortex Victor at the finish. Welcome live to Gravity GP. Midway sprint on Aero Circuit. 12 marbles. Single race technical layout. From the aerial camera, the full course is in view and the start gate is beginning to build pressure. Key risk zones. Drop section, banked curve, speed section, banked curve. All eyes are on Pulse Driver. Quantum Quakes stands out with balanced ratings. The start gate is closed. The marbles are fully ready for the green light. Green light! The race is underway and the pace rises immediately. Blaze Runner passes incredibly close without making contact. Vortex Victor passes incredibly close without making contact. Vortex Victor loses heavy speed after contact in fast risk zone. Aero Glide passes incredibly close without making contact. Vortex Victor loses heavy speed after contact in high risk zone. Blaze Runner is out of the race. Vortex Victor passes incredibly close without making contact. Vortex Victor loses heavy speed after contact in high risk zone. Vortex Victor is out of the race. Nitro Flash passes incredibly close without making contact. Pulse Driver loses heavy speed after contact in high risk zone. Swift Shadow passes incredibly close without making contact. Swift Shadow loses heavy speed after contact in high risk zone. Lunar Echo passes incredibly close without making contact. Crystal Charge and Aero Glide are locked in a close battle. Crystal Charge passes incredibly close without making contact. Crystal Charge and Aero Glide are locked in a close battle. Zenith Zapper enters the final sector. Zenith Zapper wins it at the checkered flag. Zenith Zapper wins it at the checkered flag. Crystal Charge passes Zenith Zapper for the lead in finish gate. Crystal Charge crosses the line in P2. Aero Glide crosses the line in P3. Nitro Flash passes Pulse Driver for the lead in technical risk zone. Nitro Flash enters the final sector. Nitro Flash is out of the race. Swift Shadow enters the final sector. Zenith Zapper wins the race. The podium is P1 Zenith Zapper, P2 Crystal Charge, P3 Aero Glide. P1 Zenith Zapper, P2 Crystal Charge, P3 Aero Glide complete the podium. Welcome to the Gravity GP Challenger Race, live from the Nebula Nexus, a challenging technical layout featuring 12 marbles in a single race. Our aerial camera captures the full technical course as the start gate begins to build immense pressure. The Nebula Nexus features several key risk zones, including a perilous drop section and multiple banked curves, leading into a high-speed straight. Today, all attention is focused on Pulse Driver, while Quantum Quakes enters the race with notably balanced ratings. The start gate is now sealed. The marbles are poised, awaiting the green light for this challenger race. Green light, and the Gravity GP Challenger race is officially underway. A high-risk near miss. Blaze Runner and Comet King nearly touch. In the technical zone, Zenith Zapper overtakes Blaze Runner in a near miss with Pulse Driver. Atomic Ace is out, off the track in the high-risk zone. Big collision. Lunar Echo loses heavy speed in the high-risk zone. Pulse Driver gains a spot. Lunar Echo makes a bold move, overtaking Aero Glide in a near miss through the high-risk zone. Swift Shadow and Comet King nearly touch on the low-risk run. Aero Glide overtakes Vortex Victor in a close call through the technical risk zone. Comet King and Pulse Driver nearly make contact in the technical risk zone. Crystal Charge and Aero Glide brush in the technical zone, as Zenith Zapper and Lunar Echo also make moves. Vortex Victor and Turbo Bolt nearly touch in the high-speed risk section. Nitro Flash and Aero Glide are incredibly close in the technical risk zone. Pulse Driver crosses the finish line for the win. Pulse Driver takes the victory at the finish gate. Turbo Bolt and Vortex Victor narrowly avoid contact in the technical risk zone. Comet King crosses the line for a strong P2 finish. Swift Shadow secures the final podium spot, finishing P3. Vortex Victor and Crystal Charge nearly touch in the technical risk zone. It's a photo finish. Turbo Bolt and Vortex Victor are neck and neck. Crystal Charge takes the lead, passing Vortex Victor right at the finish gate. Lunar Echo and Nitro Flash are in an incredibly tight battle to the finish. Pulse Driver makes the decisive move, taking the lead from Blaze Runner right at the finish gate. Pulse Driver victoriously claims the race. The podium is complete with Pulse Driver, Comet King, and Swift Shadow. Securing the welcome live to Gravity GP. Grand finale on Victory Vault, 12 marbles, single race technical layout. From the aerial camera, the full course is in view and the start gate is beginning to build pressure. Key risk zones, drop section, banked curve, speed section, banked curve. All eyes are on Pulse Driver. Quantum Quake stands out with balanced ratings. The start gate is closed. The marbles are fully ready for the green light. Green light. The race is underway, and the pace rises immediately. Blaze Runner passes incredibly close without making contact. Blaze Runner loses heavy speed after contact in low-risk run. Nitro Flash passes incredibly close without making contact. Pulse Driver loses heavy speed after contact in high-risk zone. Swift Shadow passes incredibly close without making contact. Blaze Runner is out of the race. Comet King loses heavy speed after contact in high-risk zone. Comet King passes incredibly close without making contact. Vortex Victor is out of the race. Crystal Charge passes incredibly close without making contact. Nitro Flash passes incredibly close without making contact. Comet King loses heavy speed after contact in high-risk zone. Turbo Bolt passes incredibly close without making contact. Nitro Flash and Comet King are locked in a close battle. Turbo Bolt passes incredibly close without making contact. Turbo Bolt and Crystal Charge are locked in a close battle. Nitro Flash passes incredibly close without making contact. Pulse Driver wins it at the checkered flag. Pulse Driver wins it at the checkered flag. Turbo Bolt passes Pulse Driver for the lead in low-risk run. Nitro Flash and Zenith Zapper are locked in a close battle. Turbo Bolt enters the final sector. Nitro Flash passes incredibly close without making contact. Nitro Flash and Zenith Zapper are locked in a close battle. Turbo Bolt crosses the line in P2. Crystal Charge passes Turbo Bolt for the lead in finish gate. Crystal Charge crosses the line in P3. Nitro Flash enters the final sector. Lunar Echo and Atomic Ace are locked in a close battle. Lunar Echo passes incredibly close without making contact. Atomic Ace and Lunar Echo are locked in a close battle. Atomic Ace passes Comet King for the lead in technical risk zone. Atomic Ace enters the final sector. Atomic Ace passes incredibly close without making contact. Atomic Ace and Lunar Echo are locked in a close battle. Atomic Ace and Lunar Echo are almost side by side at the finish. Lunar Echo passes Atomic Ace for the lead in finish gate. Pulse Driver wins the race. The podium is P1.